Welcome back to Post Farms, everybody. It's February 7th, I believe, 2025. Tried to put together a little clip this winter of some odds and ends stuff, so I'll start with today. We got back from vacation, found out our heater here in the shop wasn't working very efficient at all. It was just enough to barely keep it warm, and that was about it. So we've kind of dug into it the last couple of days, and I'll show you what we found. What we found was our tube heater, the radiant tube heat. The tubes had sooted up so bad that we had too much back pressure in our system, and it wouldn't allow the burner to run the way it should. So really the only option we had was we had to clean out the tubes, which was going to require taking it all down from the ceiling and cleaning it, putting it all back up. But with the age of the system, this was put in here in I think 2009, so we chose just to replace it because we wasn't sure how easy it was going to come apart, and then by the time you figure the labor to get it down and put it back up, and then if something else happened to it in a couple of years, we'd kind of waste our time. So that's the plan, is to just put up a new system, which should be here today, and hopefully we'll have heat here in the shop again before it gets cold next week. So the other day we did get it taken down. As you can see, we got everything on a pallet here, and this is where it all goes. There's the fresh air inlet, and you can see the hooks in the ceiling where it goes, and goes down here to where the exhaust exits the building. So pretty simple style of heat for here in the shop. When it's working good, it's very efficient, and we've been happy with it over the years, so we're going to put another one in just like it. I'm not sure if I get any clips of us actually putting it up today, because there's just going to be two of us, but I'll try to, at least we get it up, I'll try to come back to it and do a follow-up in the next day or two once we get it running. Welcome back, everybody. I was looking through some video clips on the camera a while ago, and I realized I never did do an update on our heating project for here in the shop. As you may have seen in the clips, we got back from vacation. The furnace was running all the time, but it wasn't really putting any heat out, and luckily the temperature had warmed up and we had a little time to get some repairs made, and we ended up replacing the heater because by the time we took it down and put it back up, it just wasn't worth it. So anyway, a little update. We did get heat that day that I filmed the earlier clip. Thanks to Warren, we was able to get it up. Didn't have the exhaust or anything hooked up, but we was able to run it a little bit that night to get just a little heat in the shop. And then I finished up the exhaust and a few little things on it the next day. But we got it going, and we have heat in the shop. Like I said, not sure how well that'll show up, but that is the new tube heater here in the shop. It's 50 foot long, just like the old one. We did switch brands because whatever the supply house in Quincy carried, they no longer carried the brand we had, so we got a Swintech now. And in all honesty, I think that heater had been needing some attention for quite a while, because this new one just runs so much nicer, so much more efficient. And even with the wind blowing really hard out of the north with where our exhaust is, we get no back feeding, no popping. It was just, I think the other one was sooted up a lot longer than we realized, because I don't think I mentioned it in other clips, but in the other heater, the last 20 feet had like a baffle in it, and that was so bad we couldn't hardly get it pulled out. And I tried running a metal fish tape through the tube of it to see if we could pull something through it, and I couldn't even push a fish tape from one end to the other. So that thing was packed full. So I'm glad we went ahead and just put the new one up, and we don't have to worry about something else going wrong with it, hopefully for several years now. So just thought I'd give you a little update after I watched some clips and realized I never had actually shown the new one. Hey everybody, welcome back to Post Farms. Just kind of catching up here today. We made a parts run to get some parts today. I was going to share with you a little bit about just how much it costs to kind of maintain some of our equipment. Again, our local dealer has kind of a parts sale going on February and March. It has anywhere from 10 to 30% off on filters and parts and stuff, kind of depending on what brand they are. But anyway, here's a little pile on the tailgate I want to show you. And kind of as you're looking at this, kind of guess, see what you think this cost. So what we've got a few field cultivator sweeps, not very many, just 20. A few planter parts, a few odds and ends stuff, and this pile of filters right here. There's enough in this pile to basically service 2 of the newer tractors, and then an oil filter and stuff for our older tractor. But basically, there's enough there to service 2 of the newer tractors, and there is a handful of little planter parts that they didn't have, had to order, but they're pretty minor in the cost. So anyway, just gas here a little bit, and I'll tell you that even with all the cash discounts and everything, there's about $2,000 laying there on the tailgate of the truck. So yeah, it costs a lot of money to maintain the equipment. Welcome back to Post Farms, everybody. It is February 23rd, Sunday, and a beautiful day. Been cold all week, below zero, and today is just gorgeous out. Almost 60 degrees, and we kind of took advantage of the weather and did some washing this afternoon, getting some salt and some grime off. See, we got those 2 cleaned up, got this one cleaned up, this one cleaned up. And just a little side note, I don't know if you have a pressure washer that has a tip in it like that, with a changeable with a quick coupler. Let me show you what happens if that doesn't get quite latched in and you pull the trigger. It's pretty dramatic. Goes off with a bang. And it'll knock the back window right out of the pickup. So no good deed goes unpunished. Try to wash everything up and something bad happens, just like usual. You might have noticed in that video clip, we do have an extra truck sitting around because this old 2011 extended cab is going to get a new home. We've got a local auction here in a couple weeks, and we're going to take it up there. Took the toolbox out of it yesterday and give her a good washing today, and like I said, then knocked the back window out of it in the process. But it's a 2011. It's got 170,000 miles on it. I bought it with 70,000 on it, and it's been great. Outside of just maintenance items, we haven't spent anything on it. Motor and drivetrain hasn't been touched, but starting to get some rust and stuff, so we thought maybe it was time to do a little upgrading on it before the rust gets any worse. But anyway, we've been truck shopping most of the week, off and on, and anyway, Wednesday we went a couple hours away and found this truck to be the replacement for the 2011. It's a 2020 with got 40,000 on it. It's a little newer and a little less miles than I really started out to look at, but when we got down to the numbers, in the long run, it was cheaper than some of the trucks with, 60, 70, 80,000 miles on them that were, 17, 18 models, 19. So that's what we end up with. It's going to be the kind of the odd duck around here, because you can tell that we kind of like red here. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day here and finish out the end of February again today. Last week the weather was so cold it just hurt to breathe, and this week is just absolutely beautiful. Been up in the 50s, almost 60 there Sunday. Looks like it's going to be that way all week. February is definitely going to leave like a lamb instead of a lion, and forecast at the 1st of March looks pretty good too. So anyway, a little different adventure today. We're on our way out to get the trailer and the mini excavator, and heading up to my mother's house, and we're going to see if we can fish a broken off 4x4 post out of the frozen ground. She had some vandalism up there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and spun around a bunch of donuts and some CRP, and then they actually made a lap up around her house in her yard and run over her mailbox. So she hadn't had a mailbox through all this bad weather. So we're gonna grab it and go up there and see if we can get her mailbox back today. So there just hasn't been that much going on to film, so I decided to take you along on our adventure today. So stay tuned. Like I said, it is the last week of February, and we've got trying to get some stuff finished up around the shop. Hopefully get a tractor washed and maybe get it moved to a different farm, get it out of the way. Yet this week, next week's kind of busy. We've got our local consignment auction that's a week from Saturday, and probably end up spending 2 or 3 days up there getting ready for it. Been helping with the advertising and help sale day and stuff with it for probably over 20 years, maybe longer than that. But we don't really remember how long we've even been having the sale. That's always a busy time, and plus, next week being the 1st of March, we can start hauling grain that we have sold for March. So hopefully Monday and Tuesday at least we'll be in the semi. Maybe we'll get a little grain hauling video to go along with this one. So catch you later. Missed that by a mile. That's what happens when I try backing up with the camera instead of looking in the mirror. I don't know if you can see them down there. I thought maybe I'd get some bald eagle pictures, but there's 2 deer down there right at the blacktop right now instead. So we'll wait. They'll probably be coming around through the field here in a minute. Okay, we're all loaded up and ready to go. Did I mention how nice it is out today? It's beautiful. It's only about 35 or so right now, but sun feels so nice, and spring is definitely in the air. So time to get these projects done and get ready to farm. I mentioned bald eagles. I tried getting some video of them on the way back here, but I don't think any of it's going to show up or be usable. But had too much traffic to be able to stop. You know, used to be a pretty rare sight to see a bald eagle around here, you know, 10 years ago, and but now they're everywhere. They're just basically a wintertime buzzard, eating dead animals out of the road ditch and out of the edges of the field. Like I said, you hardly go anywhere any day, unless the weather's really bad, that you don't see at least one bald eagle somewhere. So quite a turnaround. They're almost to the point around here that they're going to need to come off the protected list one of these days. You know, I'm sure it's not that way all across the country, but it sure has gotten that way here. Well, that worked way better than expected. We was able to get that broken off chunk pulled up out of there, and was able to shove this new post right down in the same hole, plus using the bucket on the Bobcat was able to get it just a little deeper than the original one. So worked out pretty good. I was afraid the ground was going to be frozen enough. If we had to dig a new hole, we was going to be in trouble, but this might work after all. Okay, here we go. Finished product. I'm gonna be glad she could get mail here now again instead of having to go to the post office. So another little project finished up on a really nice day. We'll let this settle up, and we got a gravel pile around by the shed, but it's probably froze. We'll let this settle in, and we'll scatter a little gravel around it later this spring, and we're good to go. There's about a quarter-mile fence row we cleaned up this winter, and just come back out here today, try to get this brush pile burned up before farming season. It's full of brush, full of old rusty fence. It was a terrible mess. Got her all cleaned up. Need to just do a little fine tuning on some spots picking up, and get this brush pile burned up today, and this project should be about done. Well, there we are about 2 hours later. She's just down to the coals. Throwed her in one last time, and I think we'll probably head for home and swing by in the morning and see if we can throw it together a little bit, and we'll be good. I tried burning this in December when I piled it. I couldn't get it to take off, but man, it sure burnt nice today.